Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Her Story Women's Global Empowerment Summit, March 2021. Now,
I am a superwoman. I'm a superwoman. I'm a
superwoman. Come on, just sing along.
Are you a superwoman? You're here. It's not by accident. It's because you're a superwoman. Your message, your story needs to be heard by the world, and that's why you are here. So share that love because you're nothing but a superwoman. 2021, we move our story.
Woo! And please dance, ladies. Put your volume up, Khadija, if you can. Let's get into the room by moving, ladies. Let's really
come on, ladies. Do it like this. To my side, to my side, to my side, to my side,
to my side, to my side,
to my side. I am a superwoman. I'm a superwoman. Superwoman. Hey. Show the beauty inside. I don't know about you, but during COVID, we didn't have the time to do this, and now we have the opportunity. I need you to dance like you are in person. You're touching and feeling on somebody, because the messages you're about to hear are powerful messages from superwomen, and you that is listening, you are a superwoman as well. You are not less. Your voice is heard. We're listening to you. We hear your cry. We're here to represent the voice of the voiceless, to speak for the voiceless. And that's why we're starting off with a song called Superwoman.
Come on, ladies, let's move. When you move, you get back into your skin. We want you to stop thinking about what you're supposed to be doing. You're now here, you're in the room, you're enjoying the Her Story Women's Global Empowerment Summit for International Women's Day 2021. For the next 31 days, we will be broadcasting from all over the world. I'm right here in Wellington, New Zealand. Zimbabwe's in the house, Scotland, Pennsylvania, Australia. Join us. Share this through your social media and be inspired.
Hey.
Thank you for playing the game. Welcome, everybody. Let's get the sound down. I hope you're back in your bodies and you're ready to rock and take part in this amazing experience. For the next 31 days, we are going to have women from all over the world, 15 speakers for 31 days. That is 465 voices, 465 stories. The Her Story Women's Global Empowerment Conference is here to uplift you, to inspire you, to give you ideas in business, in family and relationships. We will have performers, dancers, musicians. We missed one of our musicians who was supposed to come in from Poland and drum for us this morning, but she will be here tomorrow. The amount of content that you are going to have is going to blow your mind. We launched in July 2019 in Las Vegas. And I'm happy to say some of our first speakers are going to be joining us again. It has been an absolutely incredible journey. So my name is Getrude Matshe Kanitsky. I am the founder and global curator of the Her Story Women's Global Empowerment Network. We have a vision to connect 1 million women in 1 year. When we launched, people told me this was impossible. We are fast tracking according to plan. And it gives me great pleasure to be able to bring my sisters from all over the world onto this platform to share with you today. My presentation today is called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I've been one of those people who finds herself in the most outrageous places, situations in the world. And I thought I will start today with a couple of really funny little stories of things that I've done, that when I've looked back at my life, I think, how did I do that? The first story I'm going to share with you is an experience I had in the United States. I went to the United States in 1999 for the first time. And I remember I was so excited. It was the first time I was going to this big country. I had left my children back home in Zimbabwe with my husband, and I was coming to explore if the United States could be a country we could immigrate to. So you can imagine I'm this little African woman. I have no idea where I'm going. If you're from Southern Africa, I was carrying my luggage in those bags that have the lines, the ones that the women in the markets use to go and sell in the marketplace. I didn't even have a suitcase. And I remember my brother lived in Dallas, Texas. So he told me to get on the Greyhound bus from New York. A couple of things went wrong with this trip. One, I underestimated the distance from New York to Dallas. I was thinking in terms of kilometers, but it was actually miles. And before I knew it, I am traveling on the Greyhound bus for what felt like 3 days, nonstop. When I finally got to Dallas, I made another mistake. So my brother lived in a little town called Carrollton, just outside of the capital. And he told me, Getrude, come to downtown Dallas bus stop. That's where I'll be waiting for you. Now, when you come from Africa, downtown doesn't really mean anything. We just believe when you get to a town, if it's Dallas, it's Dallas. So I got to this bus stop in Carrollton and I dropped off. Wrong bus stop. My brother was waiting in the city. It started to get late. I started to get really worried. I remember there were 3 boys in a Cadillac who started to circle the bus stop when everybody had dispersed. And I realized I might be in trouble. So I noticed that just across the street was a bar. And I thought maybe there might be a call booth in that bar. This is way before cell phones. And I could just go into the bar, look for a cell phone and call my brother. So I plucked up the courage, lugged my 6 heavy bags, walked into this bar. And the minute I walked in, the music stopped. The bar was full of skinheads, white guys with shaven heads, tattoos, leather jackets. And you know how as human beings we can sense when you're in danger? I could feel the hair on the back of my neck standing up. I knew I was in trouble. They looked shocked to see me. I was shocked to see them. So I took a deep breath and I walked to the bartender and I said, can I use your call booth? Then I heard behind me somebody saying, look what the cat dragged in. And that's when I realized I was in a bad place. The bartender didn't know how to react. There's this short little African woman lugging all of her shit into their bar. And he pointed to a call booth in the corner. So I went to the call booth and instead of calling my brother, I dialed 911. I called the police. I knew I was in trouble. I knew there was something weird about this bar. And I said to the policeman who answered the phone, hi, my name is Getrude Matshe. I have just arrived from Zimbabwe on the Greyhound bus. I'm in a bar in Dallas and I do not feel safe. There was silence. Then the policeman said to me, ma'am, did you not see the Confederate flag outside the bar? And yes, I'd seen some flags, but the American flag has got stars, it's blue, it's red, it's white. I didn't really pay attention. But what I had done is I had walked into a white supremacist headquarters called the American Legion. And the policeman said to me, "You have just walked into a KKK headquarters. I suggest you do not talk to anyone. We will come and pick you up. Just walk outside. We'll be there in 5 minutes." As I walked out of this bar, I could see the expressions on these guys' faces because they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to handle this little woman who had just walked into their white supremacist headquarters. By the time I got to the curb, the SWAT car was there waiting for me. I was shaking like a leaf. And the police were just laughing at me because I had missed the flags outside. Now, the moral to this story is this. Sometimes you can conquer your fear by faking your confidence. I know that there are a lot of you out there who are thinking about joining us, thinking about sharing your story, and you're doubting and you're thinking, who would want to listen to me? I don't feel like my story is important. I have to tell you this right now. Every single story has value. There is somebody in the world right now who is just waiting to hear your story. And you are going to become the source of inspiration for somebody who's going through a struggle. You are going to be the story that shines a light at the end of the tunnel for another woman who's in the middle of a crisis right now. One of the things we do on the Her Story platform is we coach, we mentor women. So you don't have to be a professional speaker, even if you have never spoken before, just say yes. If you say yes, you become part of our community. We offer coaching, we offer mentoring. There's so many amazing women in this network. If you are a woman who has a social impact project and you're needing help, you're needing support, there are women who've been in business, there are women who've run nonprofits, who know how to apply for grants, who can give you advice. Our platform is turning into a bridge between women in the developed world and women in the developing countries so we can help pull our sisters up. My vision is that we each go back to wherever we came from. If you are an African person in the diaspora somewhere, or you could be from a different country and not in your home country. I have managed to do so much for the children of Zimbabwe by living in New Zealand. When I lived in Zimbabwe, I couldn't even feed my own 3 children. I couldn't get a job. But the minute I came out of Africa, I was able to start a small foundation, initially just sponsoring the orphaned children on my side of the family. This is my second pandemic. I am 54 years old and I survived the first one, the AIDS pandemic in Southern Africa. My grandmother had 11 children. She had 34 grandchildren. 19 of my first cousins died of HIV-related diseases. 49 children orphaned in my family. So I became a speaker to share that story. And I remember when I first came to New Zealand, people didn't understand what I was talking about. I shared a story of the week I left Zimbabwe. I had buried one of my cousins. I went back to the same graveyard a week later with 2 bunches of flowers, hoping that I could put flowers on the previous grave. I had to walk 2 kilometers. There were 2 kilometers of fresh graves for me to find my previous cousin who had died. People didn't understand what I was talking about. This pandemic, the corona pandemic, has united humanity in the most fascinating way. A lot of times people in Africa suffer from famine, from diseases, from wars. We try and share our stories and people don't get it. When I started to see the images of the mass graves in Italy, in New York, it brought back the memories of what I experienced when I was 17, 19 years old in Zimbabwe. Right now, we are all feeling what this pandemic is doing around the world. So what are you going to do about it? The ethos of the Her Story Online Summit is an African philosophy called Ubuntu. Ubuntu, ngamuntu, gabantu, literally translated means a person is only a person through other people. It is our way of expressing the condition of being a human being. In Ubuntu, there is no you, there is no me, there is only we. Right now, the human race is like the human body. My grandmother used to say, to explain Ubuntu, imagine if you cut your finger and you start to bleed, your white blood cells will rush to that point to heal it. That's how we should be responding to each other in the world. That you know what's happening to your neighbor next door, the people in your street. I've lived in New Zealand for over 20 years. I only know the people who are in the house on the left-hand side of my house and on the right. I grew up in Zimbabwe in a street with 50 families, and we knew every single person in every single household by name, including grandmothers, aunts, uncles who came to visit. I grew up in a communal society, and then I left Africa, and I lived in London for the first time. And I lived in a society where people didn't see me, people didn't look me in the eye. I would be at a bus stop or a train station, and I'll say good morning to random strangers, and they would look through me like I didn't exist. And I remember I used to call my mother crying and saying, Mama, I feel like I'm disappearing. I feel like I'm not here anymore. Because my very existence in Africa depended on the people around me, the people who saw me. In Southern Africa, when we greet, we say sabona. And it's not, I see you in sight. It is our acknowledging your humanity and mine. So what I bring to the world is the Ubuntu philosophy. In Ubuntu, there is no you, there is no me, there is only we. And humanity needs to wake up to this right now, that we are a breath away from affecting and infecting each other. I'm surviving this pandemic in one of the safest countries in the world, but we are back to lockdown level 3 because 3 people have been infected in Auckland. 3, I know the rest of you have been in lockdown for months wherever you are in the world. Have you paid attention to the person who lives next door? When you bump them in the corridor, if you live in an apartment, have you said, hi, how are you doing? And just really authentically have a conversation with them. Are you contacting your family right now? I lost my mom in April last year. It was the saddest day of my life. Not being able to go back to bury my mother. I was grateful that the last time I saw her, I spent quality time with her. I took pictures of my mom every single day for 5 months. When she died, I went back to look at the pictures, 3,000 photographs. Those of you who know me, you saw me documenting my mother's journey with her illness on Facebook. I took 3,000 pictures of my mother, not knowing that was the last time I would see her. So when you connect with family right now, make sure that you are having authentic connections with the people you love. If you can record those conversations, please record them. We don't know what's coming. We don't know where this virus is going. We don't know when the world is going to open up. So in Ubuntu, if you want to learn how to install this philosophy, It has 4 pillars. It's empathy, it's compassion, it's collaboration, and connection. That is the ethos of the Her Story Women's Global Empowerment Summit. We have some amazing women in our network who connect on such an authentic level, it is absolutely magical to watch. We have started social impact projects supporting women around the world, helping women get out of poverty, helping women to be able to feed their children in these difficult times. Be part of this amazing movement. This is an army of women who are go-givers and not go-getters. It's all about giving. My grandmother used to say that this universe is like a giant bank. We have to keep depositing good deeds. And they do come back tenfold from the most unexpected sources. For me, it's been a series of weird little synchronicities. Those who know me, I have been off Facebook for a year. My Facebook account was hacked. I've been cyber attacked by people who do not like me. And through a weird series of coincidences, I met a young man who's based in Ireland who watched one of my TED Talks, and he managed to restore my Facebook account 2 weeks ago. I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect it. I had given up on Facebook. And Facebook is such a powerful platform for you to communicate your message. So please take the time to connect on an authentic level. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce our panel of leaders for the Her Story Women's Global Empowerment Summit. These are women who have stepped up from all over the world. I'm going to start with Ruth Dengwani, my amazing little sister, our chairperson for Africa, living in Zimbabwe. Jerry Olayan, our chairperson for the United States, one of the founding speakers who came in right in the beginning and believed in this vision. Linda Ho, chairperson for New Zealand. Lynn Passy, chairperson for Australia. Marilise de Villiers, chairperson for London, UK. Donna Edmondson, chairperson for Scotland. Leah Nivers, chairperson for Canada. Natalie Cuttle-Welsh, chairperson for Auckland. Kerry Munford, chairperson for Auckland as well. Khadija Grace Ahina, chairperson for United States East Coast. Marie Olson, chairperson for United States Central. Leslie Villa Garcia, chairperson for Queensland. Mary Ann Bova, chairperson for New South Wales. Kim Wright, chairperson for Queensland. Alexandra Oladova, I hope I pronounced your name right, chairperson for Perth. And Karen Dawson, chairperson for the Eastern Coast. And one of the people who might not be joining us in this iteration is our chairperson for Florida. Sorry about that. I had a great moment there. So welcome, 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 everybody. Enjoy the day. I'm now going to hand over to our first Master of Ceremonies. Marilise, please first introduce yourself. Tell everybody where you are. And I pass the talking stick to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here.